So I traveled all the way here to Taiwan to see Tektro, and I heard they have a new drivetrain, but I don't see it. I don't see it in their booth anywhere. I might have to go to the neighboring city of Taichung to check it out. Alright, they let me in the back room, the secret back room. I'm like a kid in a candy store here. I guess they don't let this to the public, but for partners that they're trying to woo to spec their system, they bring them back here. Okay, I'm here, and the subject of the situation are in these two cases. This is the TRP Evo drivetrain, and the highlight is the derailleur. Very robust derailleur. Parallelogram is smaller, and the direction of it is different from the rest, so it doesn't just get knocked out by. Oh my god, it's so stiff. It is just made for mountain biking. And it has two levers. One releases the clutch right here, and one locks in this parallelogram. You don't need the parallelogram swinging when it's hit by a rock, because that's controlled by your derailleur cable. The shifter is huge and robust, very adjustable, very ergonomic. The cassette is a highlight for sure because it is forged in steel and then milled CNC 10 to 52, and then the big rings for weight are forged in aluminum and then milled. So good weight, and then the crank is just a thing of beauty. For e-bikers, this comes in, I believe, 32 and 34. 30, 32, 34. I wish there was a 36 because e-bikes just need bigger chain rings. And then your chain is made by KMC. I'll try to go to Taichung, visit the factory. I'll try to go there, test the bike, and then visit, see how they make these things, and then bring one back home. As much as I want to hang out in the most popular booth, the fashion show in the Taipei bike show, I think I'm going to have to hop on the train and follow that drivetrain. My first time in Taiwan. If you don't know much about it, it is an island rock, beautiful and advanced place. About 1/10 the size of California. It's a lot like California, I think. Natural beauty. 22 million people, and their capital is Taipei with 2.5 million people. And they have a bullet train that goes to the industrial city of Taichung. Takes about an hour. If you drive, it's going to take 2 to 3 hours. So pretty darn cool. We arrived at the Tektro headquarters in Taichung for their first ever media camp. They had a story to tell, and we're finally ready to invite the world to see their operation. So 8 of us media guys from all over came in to hear the story. You know, Tektro is not a new company. Although if you're like me, you probably don't know much about it other than you see the brakes in a lot of mid-level bikes. And I didn't even realize it is the same as TRP racing. So it started in 1986 when 3 friends thought they could make a better brake. And those 3 founders are still with the company today. That's Leo speaking to us. And now they've built an empire of 1,600 people selling 13 million brakes, hydraulic brakes a year. And they have some world-class racers like Cody Kelly, Aaron Gwynn that help them develop the best brakes out there. So fast forward to today, they have the DH7 and DH12 that they're launching to the media, and we get to do a sneak peek. So we are going to do a factory tour. And then we're going to take it out on the trail. But first, I'm going to give you the details on the components themselves. So first, let's discuss the existing product by Tektro, the TRP DHR Evo brake, considered by many, including me, as one of the best brakes available today. Developed with Aaron Gwynn and responsible for many World Cup wins, the DHR Evo has amazing power. You know, it just has Shimano level power, maybe a little more consistency because it has bigger, thicker rotors, and it has great modulation. Couple that with good reliability as well. They don't seem to lose pressure, so you don't have to bleed that often. So for e-bikes, it's an amazing product. The lever used to be big, but I think they reduced it, so now it seems to fit just right. So first, let's discuss the crown jewel of this line. It is the Evo 12 rear derailleur, and it is really robust and well built. But it has two really cool features. One is called the hall lock lever, which locks the parallelogram of the rear derailleur. You know how a rear derailleur, you can just push on it and it'll move and shift gears? Well, that shouldn't happen, because in mountain biking, really aggressive mountain biking, there's a lot of things that can hit the derailleur and cause it to shift, or cause the derailleur to go into the spokes. So this lever prevents that, and it's a lever because you want to allow that movement if you need to remove the wheel. The other one is a very good clutch. It's a small clutch, but it has instant engagement, and it also has a clutch release mechanism. So you lock both sides of this derailleur, and it is not moving that much on very aggressive terrain. Next part of this equation is the crank and the chainring. The crank can be had in carbon fiber, quite expensive, $350, but looks really good. Chainring uses the wave technology for chain retention, and it's available in 30, 32, and 34 sizes. So, but really cool is they also have an aluminum crank, if you want to save money and you're not so concerned about weight. But this is one of the most attractive looking cranks and chain rings that I've seen in a long time. So very cool. Next piece of the puzzle is the all-important cassette, the Evo 12 cassette. I mean, these things are so big that they have to be constructed really well, so they're light and they last. They take a lot of force, especially when used with e-bikes. And this one has a range of 10 to 52, has 70-75 aluminum alloy for the big cassettes, and then steel for the small rings for strength. This thing has undergone perhaps 15 versions of teeth profile under the testing of Cody Kelly and a bunch of high-end racers from Squamish. It's a cool piece that really pushes the boundaries of manufacturing, so it can deliver good strength with lightweight. And to close it off is the Evo 12 shifter. It is a nice burly component with matchmaker compatibility. It has a light action to it. The upshift lever has a nice concave feel, so good on the hands. And it has a really cool switch where you could do one at a time, for e-bike or beginners, or 5 upshifts at a time. So you could take your pick on this one. Happy to report that I got to ride the drivetrain on a quick one on good trails in Taichung, and it was very easy to use. The shifter was a dream to just to actuate, and it was very solid, very quiet, and I used an e-bike for it. And after an initial break-in of the first 5 minutes, I was starting to shift under power. Not too much power, but really test the system. The shifting was quick. It was like SRAM quick, and it was a little more solid. I liken it to GX, which is better than EXO, I think, for e-bikes. And so here I'm shifting while putting a little bit of power, and you could hear just the solid thunk of the system. I really like it. And me and my buddy did a bunch of jumping, huck to flat, and there was none of that familiar derailleur slapping around or chain slapping around. It's just so solid. And here, this is a steep hill, and I'm gonna shift under power here. And I did this about five times, and it really passed the test. So, could not have gone better, and I believe this DHR drivetrain is gonna follow me home to Northern California.